Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am here back again to do another review, and this time my review will be on Arrow Season 2. Now, I'm going to jump right in and talk about the season finale, and then I'm going to talk about things in the show that I like and I didn't like. So, if you haven't seen the show, turn this video off and go back and watch Season 1. And if you haven't seen the season finale of Season 2 and all of Season 2, go ahead and turn this video off and come back later uh, once you've caught up with everything. So, my overall thoughts on the season finale is I liked it a lot. I thought it was really great. I thought they did a lot of things well. They set up a lot of good things, and the payoff was really there. My only disappointment was I thought Slade was taken out a little bit too easy for my taste. I would have liked if he put up a little bit more of a vicious fight towards Oliver. And Oliver was a little bit more angrier at Slade because I mean this man killed your mother and he caused a lot of pain in your life once he came back for his revenge. So that was a little disappointing, but overall the season finale was very enjoyable. I like the stuff that they set up uh, with the ending. We got so many cool things like Thea being. It looks like Thea, she's going away with her biological father Merlin, and he's going to be training her. Hopefully, she can become Speedy from the comics. And she has a yellow outfit and all that. That'll be cool. I like that. I do like also that Slade wasn't killed off. He's still alive. I'm hoping that we get a scene where Amanda Waller somehow finds him in the Supermax prison, and she's like, "Mr. Wilson, would you like to join the squad?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" The Suicide Squad. And I think that would be like, "Oh, that's awesome." That I really would like to see him be a part of the Suicide Squad. Um, Roy Hopper putting on the mask was cool. It looks like he's going to be embracing that Red Arrow slash Arsenal persona. Hopefully he calls himself Arsenal. He just goes straight to Arsenal, not Red Arrow. But either way, I'll be fine with it, just as long as we see him suit up. I like the stuff they did with John and Felicity. John's got a kid on the way, which is neat with Lila. I like that. Although it did kind of come out of left field, but still it's cool. I like the overall thing that Oliver was not trying to kill Slade. He's trying to embrace that more heroic side of himself that we all know from the comics. So that's really good. It gives me hope that they're going to, you know, call him Green Arrow eventually on the show because that needs to happen, in my personal opinion. The show, you can keep the show, name it Arrow, fine, okay, but I do want to hear him, uh, or somebody call him Green Arrow, and he's just like, and he just goes with it, like, yeah, I like that. That's more brighter, and something like that. Because when he confronted Slade, he was like, in the when it was leading up to the season finale, he's like, they're calling you Deathstroke, and Slade's like, it's a bit flamboyant, but I like it. But I'm hoping that it's the same thing as somebody calls him Green Arrow. He's like, you know what, it's kind of goofy or something, but he's like, I like it, and I'll stick with that. So yeah, a lot of the stuff was really, really neat in the season finale. I was really satisfied. This show has really surprised me. It really has done a lot of things that I, didn't think they were gonna do. A lot of surprises, and overall, I'm just impressed with it. So let me get into things that I didn't like about this season. The biggest disappointment about this show and the biggest complaint about this show for me is that it's been trying a little bit too hard to be Batman, and it it carries over into this season. Too many Batman villains for my taste. First, when they were leading up to certain things, I thought they were going to introduce Raz. I mean, not Ra's al Ghul. I thought they were going to introduce Vandal Savage, and a lot of people were speculating that two online and stuff like that because Ra's al Ghul is mostly associated with Batman. So I'm like, okay, and they just used Ra's al Ghul in the Nolan Batman trilogy, so I was like, maybe we could, use something new. Vandal Savage is like the next best thing to Ra's al Ghul, and that would have been awesome if they would have went with him. So I'm disappointed with that they mentioned Ra's al Ghul in here. They were focusing too much on that, in my personal opinion. I don't like how Merlin was trained in that group. It's kind of disappointing. And they use a lot of other Batman villains in here. Clock King, um, stuff like that that really just annoyed me. And I was like, you know what? Can we please get away from the Batman stuff? I mean, because if you're gonna use all these Batman villains, you might as well have just made a Nightwing show instead of a Green Arrow show, if you ask me. So that's disappointing. But I will say I like what they did with it. I like that Sarah was trained in the League of Assassins, which is cool. And she kind of puts on that Black Canary persona, or the Canary as they're calling her. I forgot how she pronounced it in Arabic, but it was really cool the way she said it. And I do like Ra's al Ghul's new original daughter, Nysa al Ghul. It's not Talia, but she'll do. I like the actress who plays her too. She's really really hot, and she can really put on that kind of. She can really convince you that she's a badass assassin. So that was neat. But yeah, too much like Batman. The tone as well. That was the biggest problem a lot of people had in the first season, including myself. But it does get brighter. Like he takes the. I like the way he takes away the face paint and he gets the mask from Barry, which was neat. And although I know a lot of people are annoyed with the mask because it doesn't do anything to hide his identity. The only thing I can say is the superhero stuff. You got to get used to that. I know it's annoying. That type of stuff annoys me too. It's just something you got to get used to. You got to just kind of turn your brain off with that stuff and just accept it. And believe me, it does annoy me. The secret identity. Some of them are just like they don't work. Obviously, the Superman Clark Kent thing. It's like it's annoying, but it's part of the mythos. So you just kind of you got to accept it. You know what I mean? And just kind of move on. So, there is that. Okay, I want to talk about Slade's motivations. And I have a couple of problems with Slade's downfall into villainy. The reason he becomes a villain is the Miracruel thing, which is kind of messing with his mind. And the Shadow was killed. And he blames Oliver for that. My problem with this motivation is not as nearly as compelling as Slade's true origin for why he became a villain. I don't mind change as long as the change is equally as compelling as the original source material. And I just didn't think that his motivations were compelling as becoming evil. Because he when he was on the island with Oliver, fell in love with Shadow. And Shadow loved Slade, but just not the way he wanted her to love him. And I'm disappointed that his whole thing was you killed Shadow and now he's going evil. That's basically what it comes down to. And of course the Miracruel stuff, but still, it's a bit cheap. It's very CW. It's like that's I'm not shocked by that, but it's like you guys could have come up with something much better. I would have liked if they just kind of stuck with his original origin. He volunteered to be in the military. He wanted to be the best, and then some bad shit happened to him. He started being betrayed in the army and stuff like that. But I will say that I like the way that he took the Deathstroke mask from his friend who was going to be the godfather to his son, Joe. I'm hoping that's Joseph, one of Slade's sons. So maybe we'll see him down the line or something. But anyway, I like how he took that, he killed his old friend that betrayed him, and he took the Deathstroke mask, which was cool. But yeah, his motivations really, really bothered me. I was just like, that's your whole thing, because a woman was killed, and it really wasn't even Oliver's fault. A woman that didn't even love you in the same way that you wanted her to love you was killed, and you blame it on somebody else who really it wasn't even his fault if you really look at the situation as a whole. But yeah, other than that though, the actor who plays him, Manu Bennett, I think that's his name, he does a really good job of playing Deathstroke. I like that they actually gave him a damn costume, easily better than the Smallville interpretation. He just looks badass. It's a little bit bulky, kind of bulky-ish, a little bit too much patches and whatnot. But other than that, the costume looks cool, and they did a good job. And again, I'm glad that he's not dead. He's alive, and hopefully we'll see more of him down the line. So yeah, there's that with Slade. I want to talk about the flashback scenes. They work, but then they don't work. I think for the most part they work in the beginning, in the first half. Overall, really the whole season, but in the last two episodes they were really misplaced. I would definitely say the second to last episode, the editor really didn't do a good job of placing the scenes where they needed to be, and sometimes they can kind of mess up the flow of the action and the story and stuff like that, because it's just kind of misplaced where they shouldn't be. So the flashback scenes are really good. They're really compelling. I like them, but they're a bit overdone and they're a bit misplaced in some areas. But I do like the concept of it that, each season we're going to get to see more of Oliver's life on the island. And I think they said this show is going to be like 5 seasons, equaling to the amount of time he was on the island. So that's pretty neat. Okay, I want to talk about Diggle and Felicity. Diggle had a lot of really good character development in this season, and I was looking forward to that because Diggle is a really good, new, interesting character. And at first, he was becoming kind of pushed to the side. He was becoming that kind of token black character that says like 1 or 2 lines in an episode, and then we don't see him again. Kind of becoming that magical Negro, if you will. But he becomes a character. I really like the Suicide Squad episode. We get to see flashbacks of him in the military in Afghanistan and stuff like that. How we met Lila, and he stopped this guy from doing some bad stuff. It was really neat. I liked his backstory, and I really just like his character a lot. And I thought they did a lot of good stuff with him. His relationship is growing with Oliver. He's becoming basically his brother in arms and really his best friend. And his character is just really, really cool, and I like him. He's a really good addition to the Green Arrow mythos. And Felicity as well. Felicity is awesome. She had a lot of really good moments in here. Her relationship with Oliver is starting to develop, and with Diggle, the Team Arrow is just becoming really, really tight, and I like that a lot. I would, like to see more development with her, though, as far as her backstory. We get a hint of it when she tells Moria Queen about, that she knows her secrets and whatnot. But I want to see her backstory as well. I want to see. A lot of people speculated that Ivor was her dad. I was speculating that it was him too, or maybe Slade was her dad or something like that in this continuity. But we don't know. Hopefully we get more backstory on her. But other than that, her character was awesome this season. I like the actress who plays her. She's really hot. She's really appealing. She's just a really fun character. She's really that brightness, that light that we need in this series to keep Oliver from going, back to his old killer self. So those two characters had some really good development this season. Really impressed with them, and I'm looking forward to seeing more as the time goes on. Again, Diggle has a kid on the way, so that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Also, I do like that the show didn't give into the fandom, because the fandom is really they really want Oliver and Felicity to be together, and I want that too eventually. But I like that they didn't give into it. They didn't just okay, let's just focus this show on melodrama between Felicity and Oliver. I'm glad it didn't do that, and it stayed. You know, they're letting their relationship develop slowly, and it's not entirely just focused on that. Like they can still interact with each other without, oh, do I love her or do I love him and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that a lot from the writers. I want to talk about Laurel, Lance, Sarah, and Detective Lance. Laurel in this season was really poorly written. In the first season, I enjoyed her character. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I enjoyed her character. I thought she had a lot of badass moments, actually. And with her being a lawyer and whatnot, she had a lot of really, I think she was a really strong female character in the first season. But in this season, she drops off, and the writers really do a disservice to her character. And it's no wonder that a lot of people don't like her character. They really didn't do a good job with developing Laurel. Now she does have some really good moments. I do like the fact that she now knows Oliver is the Arrow, so we can get that out of the way. I like her relationship with Sarah got better, but a lot of the stuff that happens with her is kind of like her anger. I do understand her drinking problems and stuff like that. I understand where she was coming from because really, a lot of that stuff was Oliver's fault. I mean, Oliver was gonna marry this girl, and then he went off with her sister on this yacht and whatnot, and some bad stuff happened. But still, you were cheating on her, and you can kind of see where she's coming from. Her hatred or her dislike of Sarah and Oliver during this season, and despite the fact that her character was for the most part poorly written, I do think that this character still has a purpose to serve, and I think that she can live up to a better standard. So there's that. And Sarah, I do like Sarah a lot. Her relationship with Oliver was kind of off and on this season. They got back together, then they weren't. But I do like the fact that she took on a canary persona, which was awesome. I liked her fight scenes. I like her character. I like the actress who played her. I thought her character served a really big point in here. I don't know if her in the final giving the jacket to Laurel is kind of hinting to her becoming Black Canary. Maybe. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but it's certainly gonna be interesting. Now that she's back with Nysa, and I did think it was kind of neat that she's bisexual. I mean, not bisexual. She's bi. What am I talking about? She goes both ways. So, she has a thing for girls and she has a thing for boys. So that's kind of a neat kind of thing that they threw in there. And it didn't feel forced because if you're on, the stuff that she went through, because we didn't really get to see her flashbacks and when she went through with the training in the League of Assassins. But I did think it was kind of neat that she had a love with Nysa. So, and now she's back with her, so that's going to go somewhere, obviously. I don't know if they're going to bring her back, but I would like to see her character come back as Canary. And Detective Lance, I like that he's embracing the Arrow. He's Detective Lance again. He got demoted, but he's now back. I like that he's now embracing the role of accepting the Arrow in the city. He's working with him now. He now sees that sometimes you got to go outside the law and get help from Mask, and I really dug that a lot. He's got a Commissioner Gordon thing going on, but not exactly. So, yeah, overall, the Lances are really, really, they were done for the most part good justice, especially towards the end. Now, I do like that they set up the Flash in here. Barry made an appearance in the episode called The Scientist. They set him up. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. I know a lot of people would like him to be blonde, but I like the actor a lot. I like their interaction. Him Stephen Amell and that actor, they do a good job of playing off each other, and I really like the promo that they had. I was like, that's cool. That's kind of a really neat thing. Uh, the death of Moria Queen was really shocking. That really shocked me. That episode was like, wow. I didn't see that ending coming. I really didn't. I don't know if anybody else was shocked by that, but they totally took me by surprise. I knew Slade was gonna kill either Moria or I thought it was gonna be Moria or Sarah. One of those two. He was gonna kill to make Oliver kind of pay for, Shadow's death. But it was Moria, and the way he did it was just so cruel. And it was a really sad scene. It was well acted. It was well done. It was very moody. It was at nighttime. I really liked that scene a lot. I really liked the acting. Stephen Amell's acting when he was like, "I'm gonna kill you. I swear to God." You really could see the anger and stuff. They just knocked that out of the park. That's another thing about this season. The acting went up so well. These actors just have so much more chemistry with each other and so much more. They're so much more comfortable with each other, and you can see it. And it's that scene, which is one of the best scenes in this show, and on the the CW network. Period. So that was really well done. Also, they seem to be setting up Connor Hawke, although he's not going to be mixed because the girl that they showed that Oliver, got pregnant. She was Caucasian. I would like to. I wish she was black because I would like to see Connor Hawkeye, be mixed. But they're probably going to whitewash him, which is disappointing. But I don't know where they're going with that, but that's kind of neat if they are setting up Connor Hawke. I'm hoping that we get a brighter costume next season because Oliver seems to want to just embrace his heroic role, which is great. I like that the show, if in the beginning he starts off dark and he's going to become lighter and lighter as the seasons go on. So I'm looking forward to seeing maybe a more brighter costume. And he's poor now, so he's going to have to get a job. I'm wondering where they're going to go with that. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with his company and whatnot. Is the city still going to be called Starling City, or is it going to be called Star City eventually? It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what they go with Thea. Thea is now going to be with her father. Like I said, I really want her to be in costume. Maybe see her become Speedy that we know from the comics. That'd be really neat. And overall, man, just a really, really good season. Despite some problems I had with it, they did a good job. This show has come a long way. This is the best superhero show they've got on their network right now. And it looks like they're trying to build something. They're trying to embrace the more comic book side of things that we want. They're not trying to. They're trying to get away from that Nolan-esque stuff because, as the season goes on, it gets away from it. It really does. The stuff with the Miracuru and whatnot, Nolan would have never done that in his movies because it's too fantastical. And I like that they're going more fantastical with the show. So, especially when they introduce Barry, and you see all these people with special powers and whatnot, and they set up Grundy and all that stuff. So, I'm looking forward to that a lot. Looking forward to seeing Oliver crack more jokes and stuff like that. So, as a whole, this season was good. I just want more Green Arrow villains and less Batman villains. I just want the show to feel more Green Arrow and less Batman. That would be really, really awesome if they could do that. Because that's what the fans want. And, that's really all I could ask for. So overall, I give this season a solid 9 out of 10. Just really, really good stuff. Really solid writing, really good acting, really good pacing, really good build up to the finale, and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to season 3. And And that is my thoughts on season 2 of Arrow. What are you guys' thoughts? Leave a comment in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.